Greetings, roller coaster fanatics, and welcome out to a Fan Facts the Ride, where I ride the ride and give you the facts. So today's coaster, of course, is Superman Ride of Steel, located at Six Flags America. I'll make sure to include the virtual reality experience as well on this, because this is 2016, so we're going to make sure to get both of those things in this review. So here we go. So this coaster opened at Six Flags America on May 13th, 2000. It was basically, and still is, the tallest coaster in the park. It is a Intamin hyper roller coaster because it is a coaster with no inversions with a height or drop above 200 feet. So let's start with the facts about this ride. So this coaster has a height of 208 feet. Which is the tallest ride in the park, with a drop of about 205 feet, which is not too bad. Actually, it's a really great drop actually. You drop at a maximum angle of 68 degrees, which, you know, could be better because most hypercoasters today are more around 75 degrees, but, you know, it's alright. This coaster reaches a maximum speed of 73 miles per hour. This coaster goes a total length of 5,400 feet, which is a little bit longer than a mile, and overall has a total duration which includes the time spent at the brake run and the time on the lift hill at 2 minutes and 2 seconds. So just barely above the 2 minute mark, but that definitely has to do with sitting on the brake run and the time spent on the lift hill. This coaster was, of course, manufactured by Intamin, and this is actually currently the only Intamin located at this park. And this coaster overall has 1,100 riders per hour. That's if they're running their two trains. Both trains are seated with 8 cars. Riders are arranged 2 across in 2 rows for a total of 32 riders per train. So that is the overall facts about Superman Ride of Steel. Let's get into the overall review and the experience of it. So of course you start off by getting into the seats, and the good news is you got the lap bar, and it's got the newer restraints, which are fine. The only problem with it, of course, is it gets in the way of the seat belt, which might affect your waist area. You might get a kind of a bruise, you know, when you get the buttons, what the buttons leave on your jeans, something like that. That might affect you as well. Also, the new knee pads that are down there are not really angled right, so you get more of the edge of it, which doesn't really feel right. But overall, it's still nice because you got a lot of room to move your body and have your hands up in the air while this ride is going. But of course, afterwards, first of all, you gotta wait a long time because most of the time they run 1 train. Now, if you go on a Saturday, you'll get 2 trains, and they run slow. The operations here stink. So be prepared to wait long lines on a Saturday anyway, so just be prepared for that. But the good news is, due to the VR, that front row is wide open for you to ride over and over and over again. So guess what? I guess you don't have to wait that long. You just gotta wait in the station for everybody else, you know, on the cars getting their VR sets checked. So after all that, you start off, when you leave the station, every once in a while, it's not often, but every once in a while, you'll hear Superman's theme go on as you're leaving the station, which is a really nice feature. So you do a nice little right turnaround, and then you go right into the chain lift. The chain lift starts off slow, and then eventually, once all trains have been locked onto the chain lift, it will pick up speed. And let me tell you, that height when you're up to the top is a lot taller than that thing actually is. It's insane, especially when you're on the left seat and there's not the platform below you. You just have the ground. You're just like, oh my. It's a breathtaking view, and it's really awesome. So you're at the top and you crest over and you get ready for the drop, and the drop is actually really nice. Of course, it's not that steep, which is unfortunate, but it's still a great drop. And as soon as that drop is over, you plant into a nice right bank where you really feel the intensity, and it's awesome. You crest up for the first airtime hill, and you get some nice floater airtime. It's not insane, but it's some nice, good, intimate airtime. So afterwards, you drop down, you kind of come up for somewhat of actually airtime. Not a lot of people talk about this, but just before the helix, you actually kind of crest up and then even out, and you actually get some airtime, not towards the back, but mainly in the front. And may I just say before we go on, if you do ride the back, you will feel a intimate rattle the entire time. You have been warned. So anyway, so once you crest that little bit of airtime, you go into the first long double helix. This is crazy because you don't normally see this on a hypercoaster. And it's okay. I mean, I guess you really feel speed. It's not really intense at all. You're just kind of going there at the same direction for a while. Just like, yeah, it's fun. I mean, they take your picture halfway through the helix. The cool part is when coming out of the helix, you kind of have to put your hands down because you're so close to the track above you that it gives that cool near-miss effect that you have to put down your hands or you're actually going to hit the track above you. So after that, you go into the weirdest thing and kind of the most stupid thing ever made on a hypercoaster is just straight track. Yeah, they put straight track on this roller coaster. That's the first. The only thing I will say in its defense for being very stupid is during that you kind of feel speed. It's almost like you gain speed, but not really. But it is a cool feature in the fact that during that straight session you really feel how fast you are going, which is really nice. And it kind of sets you up for what's coming next, which is the second airtime hill. And by golly, that's probably the best airtime hill in the entire ride. It basically feels like the climax. It is insane. You just crest up and then you immediately just go over that thing. It feels like RMC airtime. It's insanity. It is just total insanity. So afterwards, it plants you right down into some positive G-forces into the second double helix, which is a lot better because it's shorter, and you actually do feel some G-forces. Not towards the end, but once you start, you definitely feel some G-forces, and then you kind of level it out, and you're like, all right. And what's also cool is when you start the helix, that you also get the near-miss effects there as well. So you have to kind of put your hands down and stuff like that, which is really cool. So after the double helix, you kind of dip down with some nice positive G-forces into the third airtime hill. And this is where the fun, this is basically the most fun part of the entire ride. Of course, the climax, which was really fun, the airtime hill was really fun, but this one section is the reason why coaster enthusiasts would love this roller coaster. It starts out with one airtime, and you kind of bang to the left at the same time. So you're cresting airtime, then you turn to the left, you dip down with some G-forces, and then you come out of your seat for the fourth airtime hill. And this is all ejector airtime. This isn't your cute little floater B&M airtime. This is insane, intimate airtime. Just ejector all over the place. That's the reason why you kind of feel that seatbelt will leave a mark down your waistline. It's insane. So after cresting the fourth airtime hill, you kind of go into some trims. You don't really feel the trims, which is really nice. You just kind of go straight right through it. And you go into the final airtime hill, cresting over the Batwing walkway with a nice ejecta airtime. And then you slam into the brakes before crashing into the station. And it is awesome. You don't actually crash into the station, but it almost feels like you're going to because you're that close. Overall, this coaster is a really nice fit for the park. It is a very weird hypercoaster, I will say that. There are some things that I wish were not a part of it, like that straight section of track or the double helix. But overall, it's a really nice experience and I like it. I definitely recommend riding this roller coaster. At night, if you ever get a chance, it's very rare you ever do because it's Six Flags America. It usually closes around 9 p.m. before the sun is totally down. But whenever you get a chance, if you come around Halloween, you definitely have to ride this at night. It is insane at night. Pitch black and it is very fun. It's definitely my favorite coaster at the park. Now before I get into the final score, first of all I want to talk about the virtual reality. This thing is really weird in my opinion. I had a good / bad experience on this. So I only decided to do it once because, you know, I thought, okay, I did it once, I don't have to do it again. First of all, the operations went from maybe 6-minute wait in the station to a 14-minute wait in the station. I went on opening day for this thing and it It is horrible, guys. The operations is insanity. It's to the point that actually the park now, the last 3 hours of the day, they will shut down the virtual reality because it is insane how slow they are getting dispatches with phones overheating or people not able to see the virtual reality. They'll just see a black screen, or sometimes it'll be in reverse, so you're seeing the backwards side so you're moving forwards but you're seeing the backwards part, which feels so weird. Now the VR itself, which I actually got to have a good experience on it. It's alright. I tried to focus it. I got it as clear as possible, but you could still easily tell it was pixelated. The VR itself is a really neat experience. Of course, they don't have it front row or back row, or they now have it back row or not front row. I don't know anymore. They've changed it a lot, but it's a very neat experience. It was cool to have kind of Superman, kind of battle Lex Luthor. Of course, that chain lift was actually very scary. I won't say any spoilers, but of course, most people have ridden it already. And I will say this, it was cool that they had the airtime hills kind of interact as buildings, kind of cresting over buildings. That was really cool. So the VR was okay, but the problem with it is that it really has slow operations, and you're gonna wait in a 90 to 2 hour wait for something that may or may not break down. That is all I have to say for the VR. So the overall final score, I'm gonna give Superman Ride of Steel A-, and I'll give the virtual reality a C+. So thank y'all for watching this FanFacts the Ride for Superman Ride of Steel, located at Six Flags America. If you know a roller coaster that I've ridden that you want me to see feature in FanFacts the Ride, post down in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more. That's all, folks. And as always, roller coaster fanatics, keep coasting.